It's working. Yes. My goodness gracious. Hang on one second here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans of all shapes and sizes, welcome back. I'm Abby Haggard, and there's something weird about my hair. I'm Abby Haggard, and this is my little office. And I want you to know that yesterday and most of the weekend, this room did not look like this. The entire apartment didn't look like this. I confess, I joke about having a housework fairy because I'm not interested in housework, but and that's not entirely untrue. Sometimes, we get kind of sidetracked, and this is on point for the theme that we're talking about today. We get sidetracked, and then we look around at all the stuff that we've been meaning to do, and it's just so much, and it's so overwhelming that we can't. It's just too much of a muchness, and we just stopped. And then it doesn't go away, and it gets worse, and we get more tired, and we get more fed up, and we get more give up, and all that kind of stuff. And and it doesn't matter how good the reason is. I was about to say excuse, but it isn't an excuse. It's a reason. Something happens, and we say, "I'll do it later." It isn't a priority. It's not that big a deal. But that accumulates because we do it again and we do it again, and all of a sudden we can't actually see the floor underneath all the stuff that has accumulated. And good morning, Charles. How was Kat's birthday? Did you guys have a good time? Let me know. So what happened to in my world was my career and the ebb and flow in show business hit an ebb, and I had to rush around and find another way to do what I do. And I found it, and it was terrifying until I did. Oh, that's so good, Charles. I'm so glad she had a good time. It was really scary because once you're known for doing a thing, it's difficult for people to say, well, we can give you a try at this job, but I don't think you'd like it. They're reluctant to be on the forefront of you changing direction. So um, uh, what I had to do was actually leave Ottawa and go away, be absent so that I could return triumphant. And what I had already discovered was there was another way for me to do what I do. It wasn't in front of a camera, though. It was behind the scenes. It was creating the content that goes in front of the camera, that gets in print. And it was a bit of a slow start, but it went very well. And if I hadn't had the ebb in the on-camera front and center stuff, I wouldn't have had the incredible opportunity to explore this other direction too. And I became a publisher, and I've helped all these people write what is in their heads and their hearts and get it out on a page and show it to the world. And I don't know how else that would have happened, right? In the process, though, of rushing madly off in all directions, I just kept putting things in boxes and saying, I'll get to it. And we all do that. And last week, 2 weeks ago, I said, all right, by the end of September, that'll be enough of that. So for the last couple of weeks, I have been breaking all my nails and and doing, sift, sort, put things in bags, take them to the drop off for the, the care for people who haven't got stuff. And over the last 3 days, I made 3 trips, car full of bags of things. Not, oh my God, what's wrong with her? Is she a hoarder? I just never unpacked. I just never got around to unpacking. And when I left Ottawa to start the writing, pretty much full time, I would come back and do work. I was around, but I wasn't here, present, engaged every day. It's almost 15 years. And I hadn't unpacked. I packed in a hurry, I left, and then I came back, and I didn't unpack because, by the way, it's been a busy couple of years. When I moved back, it was still everything up in the air because of my friend Dave and the end of his life and having to take care of all that stuff. And when I moved in, And I got all the boxes that I absolutely needed unpacked. I said that, you know what? That's good for now. But I realized it was over a year, because I didn't do a fall cleaning after I'd moved in. I was still lying face down on the kitchen floor. And I didn't do a spring cleaning this year either. So this was the time. And and what prompted me was I made a list. I made a priority list. What is it that I need to do to take the next step? And what do I need to do after that to take the next step? And what do I need to do after that? And I kept looking for the first thing I had to do to clear my path, to allow me to focus 100%. And it was clean up, sift, sort, organize, get rid of, save. I had to do it. So I did. And it's not I don't deserve a medal or anything, but we all do it. We all say, you know what, I'll get to it later. And that contributes to this kind of theme. Nice dinner, a bottle of favorite perfume. Ooh, good morning, Freddie. Tyler's Vids. Well, you can't do that. Ever get a Blu-ray release? Oh, Tyler. we have legal issues with you can't do that. And they are complicated and costly and convoluted. And so what we have in the moment is opportunities to see clips, to see sketches on YouTube. However, until we get all the rights cleared up, until we get all of the red tape cleared up, and actually, Tyler, you know what? This is a perfect question in terms of tidying up and cleaning up, because nobody's cleaned this up. It's just in the way. And everybody asks, and I completely sympathize, hon. I do. And I'm glad you asked for that reason, but I'm also glad you asked because it's going to allow me to talk about something that's part of all this. So thank you. And by the way, welcome. Okay, so the question today, the ask today, the answer today is too tired, I'm bored, don't care. What do we do with that? What do we do when we wake up and we realize that's where we've ended up? Like a little boat without a rudder, and we find ourselves in the floating stuff at the edge of the pond. And we can't seem to cut loose, pull back. We're just kind of there. And it's a lot of work, it feels like, and we're tired and we just don't have the energy. And so we say, well, it's not that bad over here. So I have a fix for it. I really do. And one of the things that I'm saying today is that I had it in theory. And then over the last few years, while I've been working on the whole Pivotry project, I've been testing it out. I've been trying it and looking and seeing what the response is. And so I am proving my theory before I unleash it in full living color. So, but here's the thing that I know how to fix. I know how to fix the feeling of dislocation. I know how to fix the feeling of I'm not essential to the outcome. That the day, the event, the moment, the conversation will get along just fine without me. We all hit moments like that, every one of us. And sometimes they come out of nowhere, and sometimes they're the accumulation of a lot of small things that didn't seem like much. However, when we get it, it's a very sad time. It's not a frightened time, because fear requires too much energy, and it's not an angry time for the same reason. It is an kind of time, because it doesn't feel as though anything we are, anything we think or feel or do matters enough. And there's the terrible word. We get to a point where it doesn't feel like any of the things we can contribute matter enough introduce enough of a difference. And so then the logical next step is, then why bother, right? That's the logical next step. We can't fix that because that's just a symptom of something. That isn't a thing. You know, we can fix if we know where it comes from. And my theory was this, and everybody's heard the phrase, life is not a spectator sport. Everybody's heard it. The thing is, we are not spectators. Animals aren't spectators. Animals are surviving every day, actively surviving. When it's dangerous on the Serengeti and you are prey as opposed to predator, or you are predator but there's bigger predators, the first instinct isn't to pick up the remote and change the channel and see what else is on, right? The second tendency isn't to invite a bunch of the other animals over and watch the disaster unfold. We do that for sports. Sports are a metaphor for disaster. So why are we fascinated? Because it's a rehearsal, we're practicing. So because we are wired to engage in our survival, because it's what we are, all of our little molecules, all of the competition that goes on in all the levels around us all the time are predicated on us being involved in it because it's our life. So there are times when we find ourselves being told to go and sit quietly and watch. Just go and sit quietly and watch. It's not your turn. You just sit and wait. Just sit. Just go over there and wait. Or something terrible happens. No, you just sit. Don't do anything. We'll do everything. You just sit. It's meant, and don't make a noise and don't break things and don't kill your brother. That's that's an organizational mass survival strategy on the part of the person who is overwhelmed. It doesn't do a single thing for the child, except to teach the child that they are not essential. So how many times as a child did you hear someone say, just sit over there, just sit there? How many times as a caregiver, as a guardian, as a babysitter, as a parent, as a teacher, as an officer of the court, as someone in charge, have we said to people, just line up over there, just wait, just wait? There's a reason they say it, but it doesn't work. That's why crowds get unruly. That's why people don't want to stand in line. That's why people have tantrums. That's why you say to a child, if you don't sit in the corner and be quiet, you're going to be punished. Oh, so now we are told that our active presence is not important enough. And if we don't agree, we will be punished until we agree. That does not build self-esteem, does it? It doesn't build curiosity. It doesn't build excitement and wonder. It doesn't build within us, what if? It builds, I'll just go away now. I'll just go away now. We're very busy here. I'll just go away now. Is it rational and reasonable that if there's a lot going on and we need to organize the people who are trained and so the other people need to wait their turn? Yes. But the other people who need to wait their turn can be given instructions, can be invited, can be encouraged to offer suggestions to help organize at another level, to keep people preoccupied and busy rather than feeling helpless and useless. Because when we feel helpless and useless, we have no function, we have no purpose, we have no reason to care because we're told not to. We don't have time for that right now. You just go and sit there. I'll get to you later. Good morning, Freddie. And so when we teach that, all not to upset, not to hurt, not to diminish, not to punish, not to harm. We mean it with the best of intentions. We're doing the best we can. We can only juggle so many flaming chainsaws and a small child saying, "But why, Daddy?" While all the chainsaws are on fire. The parent can be forgiven for saying, "Not now. Not now. Just go away. Go away. Just go away. Stop asking why. Give me 10 minutes." The parent can be forgiven for doing that because you can only do so much. However, if you're going to be a parent, then it behooves us, much as if you're going to say you can do a thing, maybe go and learn how it's done before you just leap in and say, "How hard can that be?" If you want to be a parent and you want to raise people, if you want to organize small children, you want to teach them the ways of the world, then maybe you need training, not in the teaching, but in the organizing of many minds, of many sets of hands, who, by the way, are willing and eager until we say no to them often enough, and then we give up. Why am I too tired? Why am I bored? Why am I don't care? Because I ran out of trying and nobody was listening. And a terrible thing happens to us. Tragic. When enough people tell us that we're in the way, often enough, some of us learn to believe it. And then, where's the incentive to get up? Where's the incentive to be excited? Where's the incentive to put on a colorful top, fluff your hair, get a coffee in your favorite cup, tea, juice, whatever? Where's the motivation? Where's the excitement? Where's the anticipation? Where's the energizing bunny inside of us all if people keep removing our batteries, shutting us down, telling us to just go over there? How do we learn it? How do we perfect it? How do we polish it? How do we figure out where to keep it? This ability to re-energize. How do we figure out where to keep it so we know how to go get it when we need it? If nobody teaches us, if nobody gives us an opportunity to try, and then laugh with us and give us a hug when we get it spectacularly wrong. How do we get good at it? How do we get gooder at it? That is a huge mystery. Now, I'm going to tell you that for almost 4 years, something occurred in our little globe that for any number of reasons we didn't see coming. And the people who make the decisions, the people whose job it is to organize solutions to problems, didn't know what to do because they've never done it before. They didn't have instructions. And they did their best to figure it out. However, they weren't figuring it out before the show opens. It wasn't the tech run through. This was the show. The audience was here. And the people with the ideas and the tools and the tactics and the strategies had never prepped for it and didn't know how to apply what they've applied in the past to make things work. The whole thing was a guess in every country at the same time. And what they kept saying over and over and over and over for almost 4 years was, not now, stay home, don't contribute to the problem. If you can't help create the solution, you're part of the problem. Just sit over there, be quiet. Don't make me come over there. I'm busy now. Can't you see I'm busy trying to fix this? And for almost 4 years, we were all of a sudden back in those early days, in those early childhood days, being told to be quiet, be good, go to your room. And we were told that every day. Not to hurt us, not to harm us, not to control us. But the people whose job it is to find solutions were completely blindsided, completely overwhelmed. And they did not have enough resources, enough different compartments in their brains to be able to think of things we could do actively that allowed us to feel like we matter. It doesn't make any sense that a grown person with a job, with the right to vote, with a family, with the disposable income to get on an airplane, to go on vacation, would suddenly yell and be rude and violent to someone looking after the passengers. So rude and so obstructive that they have to be restrained. That doesn't make any sense. 0 sense. Unless for that person, they were told one time too many, go to your room. Remember that thing? Stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. We did not handle ourselves well. And the reason we didn't handle ourselves well is because nobody taught us how when we were small. And the reason nobody taught us is because nobody taught them. And the reason nobody taught them is because nobody taught them. You see where I'm going with this? If nobody teaches anybody how to manage and how to create a give and take, an interaction, if there is no template for that, if there is no organized, proven strategy for that, we spend half our lives sitting quietly waiting in our room to be called back to the game, back to the table, back to the tribe, where all the things are going on that we weren't part of because we don't have anything to contribute. We then assume it's because we don't matter. That wasn't the reason, but nobody had time to tell us that. And by the way, we were 5. So whatever they said, we didn't understand. So here's the solution, I think. And I've practiced it a little bit and it's working. So I think I'm onto something. And it's this. Where to start before you start. That's what we're going to call it. Where to start before you start is a now what strategy. Everything's falling apart. Now what? Okay. We needed to go and look at what we did. What we did was we started here. Where we should have started was here. Okay, why? Because if we start here and we get to here, we already know what we're doing. If you're going to, let's talk about a family. If you're going to have children, there will be times when the children will be curious and have needs and be able to walk and pick things up and eat them and, you know, bite the cat. We need to know that. We need to have listened to the stories that our relatives told us and our friends told us. And we need to have a plan. And we need to have discussed the plan with our fellow organizers of this unit, of this tribe, of this team. What do we ask the team to do while the coaches are having a meeting? Do we ask the team to stand on one leg in the hall? Or do we give them some kind of a workout to do? While they do the workout, we have our meeting. That makes sense, keeps them busy, keeps them in shape. They're not bored. They don't foment rebellion. It's doable. We have to plan ahead. If nobody's doing it for us, we get to do it for us. We get to do it for ourselves. How do we do that? We make a decision before we start. What is it that I want out of this? You know, I have a lot of people ask me, when are you going to come here? And when are you going to fly there? And when are you going to do this? And here's the thing. I got on a plane, my first plane ride, I was 3 months old. Okay, military kid. Where are we going now? I don't know, but first we have to get on a plane. Oh, okay. Yeah. And before we get on a plane, we have to organize where we're going and what we're taking with us. And before we do that, because typically we're going someplace way over there, we have to go and get shots. And before we get that, we have to, da, da, da. So we have all of these where to start before you start. And then we get to the airport and do nothing. You have to be at the airport 2 hours ahead of time. Okay. Is it soup yet? Why do we have to be there for 2 hours? Well, we need to have you check in. We need security. And say, okay, but what do we do? Is it because there's not enough people and it's not enough checkers and there's too many people? Yes. Okay. Then where are we supposed to go? Well, we have places where you can sit there, you can go to your room, you can go to the cafeteria, you can read a book. Okay. So what they're saying is, hurry up, get there, be there on time, check in on time, and then do nothing. Go over there, be quiet, don't cause problems. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Just sit over there. Okay. And then there's a weather incident. And now we're already on the plane and we're going to sit on the plane for an hour while we fix that. Okay, but I can't use the bathroom and I can't use my phone. What am I supposed to do? Just sit there. You see? You see? There has been no one teaching us that. Abby explains it all well. Abby's trying to explain it. Thank you, Freddie. If we know that we are going to be in a holding pattern, here's the thing. We have been in holding patterns our entire lives. We know how to hold a pattern. We know how to stand on one leg and make no noise. We're gooder at that than a lot of things. The thing is that we don't like it. It isn't any fun. We have no resources to explore ideas. We have no resources or ability or permissions to physically do anything. I had a job once being a mannequin in a store window. It was really cool. You know, there were two actual mannequins dressed and me dressed the same. And I was in between the two, right? So 3 people walking by. And every so often I would go like this. How to get people to look into the window of this store more than all the others and tell their friends. And then would they come in the store? Absolutely. Because Abby's going to be coming away and sitting down and meeting you later. Brilliant marketing. We have to give people the opportunity to explore this brilliant thing we have that creates ideas and says, what if? If you say you're not allowed to do anything, or you're not allowed to do that, we're not going to give you any resources, just be quiet, or I'll give you something to cry about. What you're deprogramming people who are programmed to survive, programmed to constantly assess what's going on and come up with response mechanisms. That's what we are. When you say to that's what we are, don't be that. Well, what do you want me to be then? This is all I got. So the outcome is what? Disappointment. Giving up. Exhaustion. Boring. Scrolling on a phone. I got nothing else. I got nothing else. You know something very interesting that I've noticed? I've done, I don't know, not that many, maybe 10 now, 10 of these, fan con events, Comic Con, whatever you call them. You know what's really interesting about a Comic Con? Really interesting if you just stand there, quiet moment, nobody's actually actively coming to your booth, just stand there for a minute. Or if they are, and you say, I just have to go to the bathroom, you go away so you can find a spot to be a spectator for a minute. You know what's really interesting? Nobody's on their phones. Nobody. All day, all night, Marianne. Nobody's on their phones, except to take a picture. Oh my God, we got to get a picture. Let's get a picture. Oh my God. You got to come. It's amazing. Oh, I can't believe it. Listen, there's parking over here. The only reason people are using their phones at events like that is to tell the world what an awesome thing we are doing. We are being. We have become part of. Fresh water and tender green shoots in this corner of the Serengeti were only open until 5. Free parking. At an event where we are fully engaged, where the fun never stops, and we anticipated it, and we were excited, and we bought the ticket, and we told our friends, and we got together and decided what we were going to wear. We're fully engaged. We're there. It's an explosion of sights and sounds. People walk around. There's no real focus because there's so much input coming in. They go, I gotta have a coffee and sit down for a minute and think, what did I just see there for the last hour? So exciting. No need for this. What's it for? It's the most powerful computer ever devised. And we post pictures of something that made us happy. A pet, a meal, an outfit, a vacation spot. Everybody who goes on a Disney cruise posts the same picture standing in front of the same thing. Everybody who goes to Paris posts the same picture of them standing in front of the Eiffel Tower. They know everybody's seen the picture. They've seen the picture. But when they're the ones standing in front of the Eiffel Tower and it's been a dream, oh my God, we got to take a picture of this. It isn't until later and you think, that's not why they take the picture. This is the first and only time anybody will ever see us in front of the Eiffel Tower. People are going, yeah, okay, but you could do a cardboard cutout in your backyard. You didn't have to get on a plane. No, it was getting on the plane and going to Paris. That was the whole thing. We are telling people to go to their room. What am I supposed to do? I don't know. Here, play with this. Stop thinking up new things to do. Can't you just behave? Is what people tell us over and over and over. That's what we get good at. We get good at being docile. We get good at being bored and boring and disengaged. And putting on actual pants instead of our sweatpants becomes too much work. And getting up off the chair, off the couch, and going outside to get a breath of fresh air is too much work. You won't believe this. It's a fax machine, and I don't know how to shut it off. So, I just told it to go to its room, and so it did. So, where we are with this conversation, what it is that I'm saying is that somebody got it wrong. Somebody got it wrong. Best of intentions, but somebody got it wrong. Somebody didn't plan ahead. And then after that, nobody wrote down instructions on planning ahead. Nobody remembered how boring it is and how unhappy we feel when we don't feel valued, when we don't feel essential, when we're not given a task that changes things. We know perfectly well when somebody gives us busy work just to keep us out of their hair. We know what that's like. And it's insulting and it's hurtful. We didn't like it when it was done to us. Why are we doing it? Because it's the only thing we learned. Because nobody taught us how to explore. Now, I'll tell you something interesting. If nobody tells you not to, and you don't know you can't, a lot of people are exploring. Where's the child? I don't know. I thought you had the child. Somebody's got to keep an eye on that child. Child is off doing what the child is supposed to do. Learn about the world. Learn what happens when you lick your finger and put it in a socket in the wall. I don't know why I'm here. I'm very grateful. I'm so grateful. Given the things I said, I wonder what happens when I do that. Zert. Okay. How do we learn if we don't try? How do we get excited? How do we feel happy? I'll tell you something really interesting that doesn't occur to us in moments like this, and then all of a sudden it's the big thing in the room. People have pets for a reason. And the biggest reason is that the pet always makes us feel special. Even cats. What? Wash your hands before you touch me. Don't touch me. But it gives us a function. The dog, oh, you're back. Oh my God, you're back. Oh, you're back. Are you back? I went to the bathroom. You're back. Oh my God, you're back. They give us purpose. They give us a role to play in a life that is dependent on us. We matter to the animal. We are essential to the animal. The animal needs us. That is why we have pets, because the relationship empowers us. The feeling of being part of something gives us a reason to be happy, excited, anticipating what's going to go on. We shop and buy silly things for them. Cat doesn't care. The dog doesn't. Well, they sometimes care. It's like, oh my God. But we are having so much fun doing this. Why? Because we have an opportunity to contribute to the story today. And we are the only one. It's not like we have to wait our turn. We are the only one. And so that is everything. That means everything to us. And if we have not had it and we didn't know it was missing, and somebody says, I got a cat, I got a dog, I got a gerbil, I got a mouse, I got a budgie, want to hold him? I don't, well, yeah, okay. And the minute, and the creature is there, and there's a connection. Every single moment we were told, wait your turn, go to your room, not now. I'm very, but can't you see I'm busy? The animal never says that to us. What is it that creates? Interaction. Action, action, connection. Connection. Energy exchanged. I was in a stage play once in college called The Decline and Fall of Practically Everybody. It's based on the book written by a man named Will Cuppy. It's a very, very humorous look at history, world history. And in the book, at one point, Will Cuppy describes what it was like in ancient Greece when they would put on plays, and the only thing to sit on were stone benches that were assembled, carved, and ranged on the hillside. And in the middle, on the lower ground, there was a performance area. And the way Will Cuppy described it, he said the villagers would sit on stone slabs and wish they were dead. And if you so when I say, somebody says, how was the show? And if it didn't go well, I would say, well, the audience sat on hard chairs facing the front, wishing they were dead. Sums it up. It's not actual death that people wish for. It's that they wish that they were anywhere but there. Because why? Because as spectators, we have nothing to do. We have no function. Come in, sit down, be quiet, for heaven's sake, be quiet. Other people are on stage. We have to listen to them. I don't want to listen to them. Take a kid to church on a Sunday morning. Shh. Okay. But child's attention span, firefly. Be quiet. Kid is raised to believe that in order to have faith, you have to sit on a hard chair facing the front, wishing you were dead. Because that's what they did. How could they know anything else? Every single show that we see that is a huge success has an audience interactive component. Every show. Every. We get people over to the house to watch the Academy Awards. We get people over to watch a competition, sports, gladiators in modern day. Why? Why do we want to have people over to watch the game with us? Why do we want to have people over wearing all fancy up stuff to watch the Oscars? Interaction. We are not sitting on hard chairs facing the front wishing we were dead. We're part of the show. We have a show here, engaging in the show there. That's why it's exciting. Why do people go to live concerts? It's not the songs. I can play the songs. Or I can get together with all my friends and go, and we can all jump up and down and sing and scream and laugh and get our wristbands that light up and do the whole thing. Oh my God, it was the best time. Then we went out afterwards. We had drinks and we had dinner, and I couldn't get tickets for our town. So we went there and we stayed in a hotel. It was amazing. Which part of it is amazing? our actions, our involvement, our participation, our contribution is essential. Why? Every actor will tell you, every director will tell you, without the audience, it's a rehearsal. Why isn't the audience invited to the rehearsals? Well, because we wouldn't get any work done. We'd be telling them to be quiet. So we say, you know what, we'll rehearse and then you come. And that way you can be busy doing your thing and then you can come. Okay. What do we do when we get there? Okay, we'll give you enough stuff in the show that makes you go, oh my God, and laugh. Oh my God. We have an intermission. Why? To get out of your seat, to go someplace and talk about what a great time we're having and go to the bathroom and talk about what a great time we're having. Oh my God, I can't wait for the second act. And you know, that's why it's exciting. We got to see it live. We got to see a mistake. Something we know wasn't supposed to happen happened. And everybody in the audience goes, ah, or they laugh, or something breaks. It's alive. Why are we waking up and saying, I'm too tired, I don't care, I'm bored? Because we've been taught that it's not helpful if we are alive. It's not helpful to the outcome that the big people, that the important people have organized. It's not helpful that we are saying, can I help? Can I do this? I can help. No, honey, don't. No, you can help later. Okay, you can help later. I want to help now. Just because I'm talking like this and I'm only 2 feet tall doesn't mean that on the inside I'm saying, why can't I help now? What are we doing? We're making a cake. Am I going to be eating the cake? Then why can't I help make the cake? What am I, chopped liver? Well, no, honey, it's just what? Why do you get to do it? Why don't I get to do it? You know what, honey? We'll talk about it later. So you go away and you don't be active, involved. You just go away. You go away. And when I've done all my important stuff, you can come back. That's not what they said, but that's how it feels. And then we are a very unhappy little person because nobody needs us. They might love us, they might want us, but right now, they don't need us. So we're the only needy ones. And we have no one to go to because they're busy. So we go here. We go and do things that are self-destructive. Nobody likes me. What does it matter if I do this or I do that or I behave badly or I hurt myself? What does it matter? It doesn't matter to them. Do you see? Too tired, bored, don't care. That is a defense mechanism. That is a shutting down mechanism. You want me to go away? Okay, I'll go away. It's not a get even. Not enough energy to get even. We are doing it to ourselves. Why are people not interested in showing up for work 5 days a week? Because we're told to go away, sit over there, do that. No, you can't have a break yet. Just do that. Can't you see that we're busy? Why am I here? I can do the same work at home. Because I want you to be here. I want to see what you're up to. Well, I'm not up to anything because you told me to go away. The problem, dear Brutus, the fault lies not in the stars, but in ourselves. We teach what we learned. We can only write what we know. And what we know is that most of the time we are not essential. It was proven to us over and over and over and over as children, whether it was correct, accurate, it's the message we took away. How do we fix it? Well, choose you. Choose you. I'm walking here. I'm walking here. And if I'm not essential here, I'll walk over here. I have value. How do I know? I'm here. There are no accidents. Everything happens for some kind of a reason. If we don't like the way we're being treated, then we can show by example how we want to be treated. Go to your room. Okay. It's my room. It's my room. Then I will keep myself busy. I matter in this room. It's my room. This is my little small kingdom inside the larger kingdom. I can do things that are creative and interesting and exciting. I don't have to get even. I don't have to paint all over the walls. I don't have to teach them a lesson and break things. I can be creative and create my own world of wonder. A terrible thing happens to all of us in varying stages and sizes. We achieve something big and everybody says, oh my God, you're amazing. And then the something big ends. And for a while, people say, oh my God, you were amazing. And then they stop because they got other things to look at that are amazing. And all of a sudden, through no fault of our own, we don't matter to them the way we did. That makes us think we don't matter because we haven't figured out who to be next, which part of us to bring out and say to ourselves. A person who can act and be funny is funny all the time to themselves. I crack myself up all the time. You've seen me do it. Sometimes I have technology to help me. Mostly I do it alone. Somebody said, oh my God, you're funny. We could put you in front of people and see what happens. So they did. And everybody said, oh my God, we'll come back. Can I get a ticket? Yes, you can. And all of a sudden I was getting paid for being me. That's how that works. I didn't become me to get paid. I was already me. People liked it enough to pay me. If I can't do what I did before, I can do something else. All I have to do is figure out what it is. Can't hang on to a thing that isn't happening anymore. Fine. I'm still funny. I still crack people up. I'm not looking for people to buy tickets. Not there. There's a time when I'm going to. I'm not looking for people to buy tickets. I'm looking for people to pay with their connection to me. I'm creating a tribe. I'm getting people in the boat so we can all go someplace together. Who am I doing it for? Me. I'm going to give them the best experience possible because without the audience, I'm rehearsing. Picture me trying to row a whole boat. Row, 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 row. Yeah, no. How far did you get? 10 feet. I was too tired. I couldn't do it. We need each other. We energize each other. We connect to each other and empower each other. If you're used to sing and you can't sing, okay. What else do you do that's fun, that you have a good time with? Nothing. That's not true. Everybody has a bunch of things. Do that. I won't be famous. So what? You didn't do it in the beginning to be famous. Famous was a byproduct. Choose you. Put on the I wear stuff that I think is fun every day. I get up, I have a shower, I get myself organized, I put on something I like, and I wear it all day. I go downstairs to get the mail. Somebody says, "Oh, are you going somewhere?" Yeah, yeah. I, where I went was I got out of bed and I got dressed, and I'm engaged in my day. If I pass a mirror, I think I really like that jacket. I chose that jacket for me. I choose me. That seems like a lot of work. Yes, seems like a lot of work when I'm exhausted and tired and I feel that nobody cares. Yes, it does. Accept that. Accept that. Somebody does care. You do. We do. We care about us. Get a pet. Sure. You'll absolutely have someone, some creature who cares. Guaranteed. Great. However, who do you think got you the pet? You did. Why did you get you a pet? Because you care. You care about you. You matter. When we're born, what if our job, our one job, was to look after this little human? When I'm born, as I'm being born, the Abby-ness is given this little creature, and we'll call her Abby. And my one job is to look after Abby, to take care of her, and pull her away from the edges of cliffs. Not tell her go to her room. My job is to say, stick with me, kid. We got this. Because Abby's my human. And it's never dull. If we allow ourselves to think like that, that will help you understand why when I do talks, when somebody hires me to come and speak to a group of people, everybody assumes that I'm going to be the one up front and they're going to be sitting on the hard chairs facing the front wishing they were dead. Everybody assumes that. Why? Well, because that's what every talk they've ever been to has been. I really want to go and see this guy, this girl, or these people. I really want to go and see what they have to say. I've heard so many good things. Okay. How much more interesting would it be if the entire talk was interactive? If the speakers said, you were all given a short summary of what this is about. I'm going to talk for 10 minutes. We're going to take a break, and you can write down questions. And after the break, we're going to have a discussion. We're not going to break into focus groups. We're going to have a discussion. You're going to ask questions. I'm going to answer some. Other people are going to say, I have an idea. And we're going to have a conversation. What does that do? Well, it takes the 100% spotlight off the speaker. It shines the spotlight on the people who make it happen. Because without them, it's a rehearsal. And it gives all those people who may not have known each other an opportunity to have things in common with other people who matter just the way they do. And now here we are. Now there's 300 people in a room. And is it bedlam? Are we having a conversation? Are we laughing? Yes. Yes, we are. Do we have a signal, a code? Okay, I just want to pose another question. I'm going to throw it out there, and let's take 10 minutes, and then let's talk about it. Give and take, give and take, give and take. Do you like going to those talks? Oh, yeah, it's amazing. It's incredible. And I met the most amazing people. That's right. Do you feel like a spectator at those events? No way. Are you kidding? You got to come prepared. You can't leave your brains in your other pants when you go to these talks. How often does that happen to you? I'm going to go with not enough, not nearly enough. So I'm changing that. And I'm going to start by bloop, stone in a pond, ripple effect, ripple effect. Can I create more of it? Yeah, sure I can. It's really exciting. The people I'm talking to are saying, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to do this. This is a great idea. Why didn't we think of it before? Because we were taught to go to our rooms, sit quietly on the hard chair, face the front. Don't make a nuisance of yourself. Don't embarrass me. That's how we were raised. Even with the best of intentions, that's how we were raised. It doesn't mean that's how it has to stay. It doesn't mean that how it was written is how it has to remain. Why? Because I own the pen. It's my pen. And I can rewrite the story anytime I want. And when you're ready to write the story, I'm there to help you. Okay. That's the cure. The cure for too tired, I'm bored, don't care is you have permission to stop waiting for other people to care. You have permission to say to yourself, these people don't get it. Why am I waiting for them to get it when they clearly don't get it? All right, new page. You know who gets it? I'm going to put the name at the top of the page who I know gets it. Me, I get it. Write it down. What do I feel like doing? I don't know. I'm still tired. Okay, but let's do a small reward thing because you have put up with enough. You have put up with enough. Go to your room. Enough. We're not ready for you. Go over there. Stand in line. Make yourself busy. That is the only reason this works. That is the only reason people are so fixated on these things. The degree to which people are fixated on these things for no reason at all, is because they've been told to go away. Why do you think they bring them to the dinner table? Why do you think they take them and bring them out at a table in a restaurant? Two people go out for dinner in a restaurant. They're both sitting there on their phones. Why do you think that is? Because that's what they taught themselves to do. And they didn't teach themselves how to engage because nobody taught them. Ripple effect, ripple effect, ripple effect. You and I are going to change that. We are already changing it. I'm doing these videos. You are engaging. You're writing your comments. You're giving me an opportunity to answer them. You're messaging me later. We're creating a connection, an interaction. Some of you have come to Ottawa. We've met in person. Sometimes we have phone calls. Sometimes we do Zoom. It's interaction. People who say, where can I get a DVD or a Blu-ray or a this or that version of the show? Well, not right now. Not right now because there are legal issues. However, conversation this morning with Tyler. He's watching the video. He asks the question, hey, Tyler, guess where you can talk to Abby, Mom? Right here. Anytime. Anytime I'm doing a video. Anytime you have a question, send me a message. Comment on a picture. Do I respond? Yes, I do. Ask anybody. Why? Because of the connection. You guys are my diamond hearts. I'm building a diamond hearts club. My diamond hearts are the people who fell in love with the work I do. Not just the work I do. You fell in love with the show and I was part of it. You fell in love with the Care Bears and I was several Care Bears. You fell in love with, for better or for worse, you fell in love with something that I was part of, and that we are still connecting, that you are reaching out, that we're having conversations, means that the connection is still there. You're diamonds, and your hearts are in the right place. So we need a Diamond Hearts Club, don't we? All members in good standing. How do you qualify? You cared about something I was part of. You said, this matters to me. And so I get to say, and you matter to me. Diamond Hearts. It's going to be amazing. Okay, I've looked at the time. This was a long one. I think it was worth it. I think it's important. The reason I think it's important is because you matter to me. Every video I do, at the end of it, I say, be good to you. You deserve it. Remember to hug your loved ones. They deserve it too. Every time I say that, I'm saying, don't shut yourselves in your room. Don't tell your relatives, I'm busy now. Why? Because they matter. And they need to feel that they matter. We all need to feel that. We can do it for ourselves, then we can do it for them. If we can do it for them, we can do it for ourselves. Okay? Thursday, I have another really interesting video to talk about. I think you're going to like it. The numbers of people who are watching this are growing, and I am so overwhelmed. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I can't thank you enough. So, with that said, I'll catch you next time.